بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين أما بعد وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى إن الله يجزي المتصدقين صدق الله العظيم وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما نقصت صدقة من مال وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والذي يموت تحت الهدم شهيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح. Dear respected brothers and listeners, As-Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Master of the Day of Judgment, the all-knowing, the all-hearing, the most forgiving, the most merciful. And we send peace and blessings upon the beloved of Allah, the best of mankind, the best of creation, the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for me to deliver and act upon my message, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for you to understand and act upon my message. My brothers and listeners in Islam, on Friday the 8th of September at around 11 p.m., an earthquake high in the Atlas Mountains at a magnitude of 6.8, the biggest and the largest earthquake in 120 years in the history of Morocco, wiped out and crumbled mountains and villages and homes. An earthquake that was felt in the city of Lisbon in Portugal. Mountains came crumbling down. Homes were completely wrecked, my brothers in Islam. Homes beyond repair. Beyond repair, my brothers in Islam. People lost their families, their brothers, their sisters, their wives, their husbands, young children, my brothers in Islam. People are still searching for their families in the rubble. There is aid. There are places within the villages where aid and rescue teams haven't even reached, my brothers in Islam. And this earthquake happened in the middle of the night, between 11 and 12 p.m., where most of the people were within their homes sleeping, walking about, returning from work, eating with their families. Just like you and me, my brothers, a couple of hours before or the day before, they were just normal, thinking nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to happen. Eating with their family, going for a picnic, going to work, visiting their family and friends with the relatives, eating, drinking, sleeping. And an earthquake struck, my brothers in Islam, and destroyed everything. Destroyed everything. If you see some of the pictures, my brothers in Islam, you will see that some of the buildings are completely bent. An aftershock, a tremor can bring them completely down, my brothers. If you go into the villages, you will see that their homes are completely destroyed, my brothers in Islam, completely destroyed. And these people of Marrakesh, you know, my brothers in Islam, when this earthquake struck, their homes came crumbling down, destroyed. Homes are completely beyond repair, my brothers in Islam. For those that were still standing, one tremor, one shock can make the homes come crumbling down, come upon them. Because of that fear of the tremors and the aftershock, they slept for a week outside of their homes. They made their own tents out of cloths and lived in these tents with nothing to sleep on except the floor, my brothers in Islam. And if you see one of the tents there, my brothers, that I visited, this was a tent of people where they're living outside of their homes, my brothers in Islam. And they made their own tent. They put their blankets and whatever inside their essentials, and they will live in these tents for up to a year until their homes are rebuilt. For those whose homes are completely destroyed, Allahu A'lam how long they'll be living in these tents, my brothers in Islam. And there are places within Morocco, my brothers in Islam. You know, when I went to these mountains, by Allah, my brother, when you see the mountain, you would think that no one living there. There's no one. How can someone live there? And we traveled in the middle of the night, in the darkness of the night, for 8 to 9 miles, going up and up and up. Up and up. My brothers, when you see the rocks, you know, when you're driving, you see boulders, rocks, and I can't even show you the size with my arms. They are huge. And you drive and you think that they look like they're so loose, if one of them falls, you get knocked off the cliff. Literally. They are dents on the road. Not potholes, dents, complete dents on the road. And by now, obviously I went a couple of days before, they moved the rocks to a side. But I want you to imagine this, my brothers in Islam. When the earthquake struck in the night, 11 p.m., they said the mountains literally shook, and these boulders, these rocks in the mountains gathered speed and came down and into their houses and destroyed all their houses. Imagine these boulders coming down with speed, my brother. You can hear these boulders coming down. And they struck their house and completely destroyed their houses. Completely destroyed their houses, my brothers in Islam. Their cattle, their livestock were completely destroyed in the villages. The devastation within the city is great. Imagine in the villages, when I went to see my brother, some of the pictures that you see, some of the videos I have taken, you will see that these people, how they are living, how their homes have become. They have no homes, my brothers in Islam. There are villages within these mountains by Allah. You travel. We went the next day in the day, and you actually see everything. It took us time to gather the aid, my brothers in Islam. And on the first day, when we went to a village, the village of Iskan, when we went there, a village of up to 60 families. 60 families, my brothers in Islam. And the people of this village are scattered everywhere. And there's only a certain point where the cars can reach. After that, you only walk or you go by bike. And when we were guided by a local charity, by Jamiatul Fadl. And they guided us to this mountain and said, look, our intention when we reached there was to give out food packs. But they said they got enough, where you can reach, they got enough food packs. So we done blankets, we done mattresses, all the essentials that we could. We gathered it by 5 p.m. that evening, the first day. Our flight at 6 o'clock, we landed at 11 o'clock with no sleep. We went straight into the market. We gathered everything by 5 o'clock. We were on our way to the villages. We reached that village at 7:30 p.m., 2.5 hours in the mountain, driving. You know, when you go to London, my brothers in Islam, 2.5 hours, we're driving, yeah? This is 2.5 hours into the mountain. And the mountain doesn't stop. When you go to the top, you see more mountains. It never stops. And there are villages, imagine what I'm trying to tell you, my brothers in Islam, that there are villages where people haven't even been to. The rescue team and aid hasn't even reached. So you can imagine if you are driving from here to London, 2.5 hours, and then you find a village, and then you see mountains beyond and beyond. And then you can understand why aid and rescue teams haven't even reached there, my brothers in Islam. The rocks on the roads leading to these places are slowing the access for aid for these people. So when we reached at 7:30, 8 o'clock, we prayed our Maghrib Salah. We prayed our Maghrib Salah, my brothers in Islam, and the local people, they said we have to go on bikes, further away. Another 5 miles up into the mountain. You can't go by car. There's rocks and stones everywhere. So these people, you can't give them the aid. They have to personally come down, physically walk down from these villages to a spot where we can give them the donations. So we went, my brothers in Islam, for 15-20 minutes on bike. When we saw the village, you'll see the darkness of the night. The videos taken in the night of this village called Iskan, where these people lived. And these are just some of the homes. Scattered about 60 families, my brothers in Islam, where they've left their homes and they're living outside of their homes. And we got there, we saw the devastation, my brothers in Islam. And but khalas, we went back to the spot. The locals came. They took their aid and the dua that they made for you people, for those who donated, my brothers. And this is the reason why we do this. This is the reason why we do this, my brothers. They lost everything. They lost everything, my brothers in Islam. Their shops, their madaris, their madrasa, their masajid were completely destroyed. Their homes were completely destroyed. When you see some of the photos, my brothers in Islam, you will see that the homes are about to collapse. You go inside and you think the walls are going to fall upon you. Literally, my brothers in Islam. And when this happened, my brothers in Islam, charities from all around the world, you'll see everyone there, my brothers in Islam, in different villages. They didn't think twice about the tremors, the shocks and the quakes that come after it. The only thing on their mind was to aid the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The only thing on their mind was to aid the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And by Allah, that was only possible due to your generous donations. Allah, by His mercy and His blessing and His grace, gave me the opportunity, my brother, to see this. I accompanied Moulana Zakaria, my dear friend of Muslim Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Moulana Khalil al-Hira Institute. Together, my brothers, with your generous donations, we were able to help the people of Marrakesh in the villages of Qutni and Iskan. The next day, my brothers in Islam, when we went out and we could actually see things, you could see the devastation properly. We were in the middle of the night, and by Allah, my brothers in Islam, you know, when we got there, it was about 31, 32 degrees, but when you're on the mountains 20 miles high, at least, it was freezing cold. It was raining. It was raining, my brothers in Islam. So you can imagine these people who live there on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, they live in these villages where there's no shops, my brothers. There's no shops. You know, there's no shop. They have to come down. They have their supplies. People come with their trucks and whatever it is. So you can imagine that people live beyond and beyond in these villages, beyond and beyond, my brothers in Islam. The last day, my brothers in Islam, when we went out to give your zakah donations, we went to people who live in mud houses, my brothers in Islam, out of mud. And by Allah, there was this one old lady, my brothers in Islam, you know, when you give out the donations, she came out of her home with a stick. She couldn't even walk properly, my brothers. But the smile that she had on her face when we gave the donations, the dua that she gave was for you, my brothers in Islam, for your generous donations. Because of what you have given for them, my brothers in Islam. And by Allah, the most important thing, my brothers in Islam, the most important point I want to mention, inshallah ta'ala, before I finish. You know this zakah, this sadaqah, the lillah that you give. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the one who gives sadaqah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will never see his wealth decrease. The zakah, the 2.5% of the percentage that you give of your wealth for your zakah was never yours in the first place, my brothers in Islam. You know who the true beneficiary of this wealth is you and me. You know when you think, oh, I'm giving my zakah, my sadaqah, my lillah, it is helping others. No, it's helping you and me first, my brothers. We are the true beneficiary, because when you give your 2.5% of your zakah, when you give this, it cleanses the rest of your wealth. It cleanses the rest of your wealth. That wealth was never yours in the first place, my brothers in Islam. You know, it's easy to give. When you have £100, it's easy to give £2.5, £2.50, khalas, finish it easy, no problem. You won't think twice, right? When you go into your thousands or your millions, and your zakah is into the 100 or 200,000, you start thinking, you know, with this money I can buy a house. With this money I can buy so many cars. Shaitan comes to you, my brothers in Islam. But by Allah, my brother, this wealth that you have is not yours in the first place anyway. It's not yours. The 2.5% that you give of this wealth, it is there to cleanse the rest of your wealth. So never think twice when you discharge your zakah. Never think twice, my brothers in Islam. Allah will give you more barakah in your wealth, your family and your iman. Never think twice, my brothers in Islam. The sadaqah that you give in this dunya, my brothers, takes away the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The sadaqah that you give in this dunya will intercede on your behalf in the akhirah, on the day of qiyamah, my brothers in Islam. The difficulty, the sadaqah that you give removes the difficulty, your difficulty in this dunya as well, my brothers. You remove the difficulties of your brothers and sisters, Allah will remove your difficulties also, inshallah. And I end with this. There's much to say, my brother. Time doesn't allow me, inshallah ta'ala. But I end with this, my brothers in Islam. Continue donating for Libya, for Morocco. Wherever our brothers and sisters are in need, continue donating. Discharge your zakah. Discharge your zakah, my brother. Don't think twice, my brothers. Don't think twice. Discharge your zakah. Allah will give you more barakah. Don't think it's 20,000, 30,000 pounds. I can do something with this money. No, my brothers. That money was not yours in the first place. That money is allowing you to cleanse the rest of your wealth. And by Allah, my brothers in Islam, you will see the barakah in the rest of your wealth. The barakah in the rest of your wealth. Those who don't discharge their zakah, my brothers in Islam, they may be earning a lot of money, but their money will go into futile things that they didn't even think of. You will see your money decrease, and you will think, what is the money going on? Where is this money going? I'm earning so much money, where is this money going? But by Allah, you discharge your zakah, you give sadaqah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will see your wealth increase upon increase. And you may not be earning so much, my brothers in Islam, but the barakah will be like as if you're earning like a millionaire. By Allah, and I promise you that, my brothers in Islam. And I end with this, my brothers in Islam. Discharge your sadaqah, your lillah, your zakah to whoever you wish, whichever charity you wish, my brothers in Islam. And I end with this, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us those who have donated Donate and give them the best of this dunya, the qabr and the akhirah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Jazakumullah khair.
Can I ask you to please stand up, move forward, set up the surface, please, makes it easier, especially in the back row. As-Salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Just a few quick announcements, inshallah, Aziz, and we can start with the khutbah, inshallah. If I can find the announcements for this. So, inshallah, this Sunday we've got an event we try to hold every year. We haven't held it in a couple of years because of COVID. It's called a Visit My Mosque event. We know the masjid is called a masjid, but many non-Muslims refer to a masjid as a mosque. So we have this Visit My Mosque event, and the idea is to invite non-Muslims into the masjid. Yeah, and as far as Sharia is concerned, there's nothing wrong with that. You'll find in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he met with dignitaries and people of other faiths and leaders, he met them in the masjid. He didn't have a separate office to meet them. Right? So inshallah, the idea behind this is to bring our neighbors, our work colleagues, friends that you may have, people that you know who are not Muslim. This is not to bring them into Islam, but give them an understanding of Islam. And we hope that inshallah this becomes an opportunity for them to understand what Islam is about. Because a lot of times they look at us dressed, the TDK, Topi, Dari, Kurta, and then they think, what, this guy here is a terrorist. Whereas the reality is, we can't make ruku and sajda properly, we're going to be in jihad. Think about it. So this gives people an opportunity to come into the masjid, see what activities take place here, what different things we do here in the masjid, learn about Islam, speak to fellow Muslims in the community, and you will see that there are people that generally turn up, people you may see in the local shops. There might be neighbors or people living in your street or a few streets away that you see maybe even at school time when you're picking up and dropping off your children. So this is a good opportunity, inshallah, this Sunday from 12 till 4, inshallah, we'll be welcoming people from the community into our masjid. But to make it successful, we need you as brothers and our sisters to volunteer, inshallah. So from 11 o'clock till about 5 o'clock, inshallah, if you can give your time, fi sabilillah, for the pleasure of Allah, for the benefit of the deen, inshallah, this will be beneficial for us also. We have family time and we make time for personal time and me time and friend time. Let's make some time for Allah's time, inshallah. Inshallah. So, how many people can I expect to see from here on Sunday volunteering? Seriously? Only one? One? Well, the day of Qiyamah, your neighbors, when they see you going to Jannah, if you don't believe me, read up in the hadith. When they see you going to Jannah, you say, Allah, hold on. This guy was my neighbor. This sister was my neighbor. They went to the masjid. I used to see them. They used to adorn the Islamic garb. I used to see them doing other things. On Eid, they would come and give us a plate of bikis and delicacies. I would hear that they were fasting or they'd gone for the pilgrimage. But they never ever spoke to me about Islam. Yet, as Muslims who claim to love Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, What effort are we making? What worry and concern do we have that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam 1400 years ago, he would stand in the night weeping in front of Allah. Ya Rabbi, ummati, ummati. How can my ummah go to Jannah? And here as the ummah and the lovers of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this is the month in which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came into this world and departed from this world. We should be learning more and more about the seerah and trying to do more and more to bring people towards Allah. You don't realize that one good deed may bring someone towards Islam, they accept Islam, you cash in. It's the best investment, better than all your apps and bitcoins and whatever other investments you may have. This is the best investment for the hereafter. So we've seen a few people saying that they will come. I'm hoping I'm going to see all of you here, inshallah. Yeah. If someone messaged you now and said, you know what, Sunday at Rutland Waters is going to be 30 degrees, bring and bride, bring and barbecue, we're going to have a big party there, bring your family. Yes, put me down. But when it comes to anything for Allah, then here we are begging. You know, begging for you to do your responsibility as Muslimin. Islam is not a selfish religion. Yeah? Islam is a religion that benefits mankind. Let us be of those who benefit mankind, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya 'ala as-salam. Hayya 'ala as-salam. Hayya 'ala al-falah. Hayya 'ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
الحمد لله الذي جعل الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر الكتب الأعظم في الدين وبعث له النبيين أجمعين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي بلغ ما أنزل إليه من ربه ورب العالمين، صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين كانوا يسعون بالحق ولا يخافون في الله لومة لائمين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى: ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. وقال الله تعالى عز وجل: لولا ينهاهم الربانيون في الأحباب والأحبار عن قولهم الإثم وأكلهم السحت لبئس ما كانوا يصنعون. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده، فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه، فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه، وذلك ضعف الإيمان. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. خذ العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين. بارك الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته. قال النبي صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر وأصدقهم حياء عثمان وأقضاهم علي وفاطمة سيدة النساء أهل الجنة والحسن والحسين سيدا شباب أهل الجنة وحمزة أسد الله وأسد رسوله رضوان الله تعالى عليهم وعن كل الصحابة أجمعين. اللهم اغفر للعباس وولده مغفرة ظاهرة وباطنة لا تغادر ذنبا. الله في أصحابي لا تتخذوهم غرضا من بعدي فمن أحبهم فبحبي أحبهم ومن أبغضهم فببغضي أبغضهم وخير أمتي قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين والمؤمنين في كل مكان يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين ويا قاضي الحاجات اقضي حاجاتنا وحاجات المسلمين. اللهم انصر من نصر دين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وجعلنا منهم واخذل من خذل دين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا معهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأعز وأجل وأهم وأتم وأكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. سووا صفوفكم. Please straighten your rows. Stand shoulder to shoulder, no gaps in between, and you kneel to me on the black line, please. Welcome.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Brothers, from here I can see second, third row, fourth row also I can see there's gaps in between you. If everyone moves to the left as much as possible, I can guarantee you each of you getting one more person in. Quickly, brother, everyone move to your left. Everyone move to your left as much as possible. Make sure you're standing shoulder to shoulder.
الله أكبر.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اللهم استغفر الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك ربنا وتعالى يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. اللهم رب ارحمهما كما ربيانا صغيرا. اللهم إنا نسألك من كل خير ما سألك منه نبيك وحبيبك وعبدك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من كل شر ما استعاذ منه نبيك وحبيبك وعبدك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Inshallah, after the remaining salah, there will be a nikah taking place. Everyone's requested to take part, inshallah, and be part of this sunnah, inshallah.